All right, everyone, welcome again to our Yoopers Unite weekly meeting every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time up here at the Lovemark Church. Thank you to Tina for the wonderful refreshments and food that we have, and for going out of her way to make sure we have coffee and all the other items. Let's see, more along the housekeeping things. I know Joanne and Jimmy have done outstanding with the food donations, especially after the Definitely. Joanne, I believe it was 800 pounds worth of food. 882 worth of shelf-stable food. Well over a ton. Imagine how many people, how many families that has impacted across the entire UP. So, yeah, definitely. Round of applause for those guys. Let's see. How many people here are new? All right. That's excellent. Great to see you here. And of course, we are all-inclusive. So, we are here to support democracy, support the Constitution, and of course against the violations that we see happening every day. One of the things I said this weekend when I spoke in Escanaba is that we are here exercising our Bill of Rights. Others are violating them. And I hope that we all understand that we are red, white, and blue versus just red versus blue or any other color combination. We are here for all of it, for all of our rights. So with that said, I am once again, my background, I have a bio on my background. If anybody wishes to come to the front table to read it, you definitely can. But I am retired Army and Air Force. I'm a Master Sergeant, and I spent many of my time overseas, much of my time overseas as well as here domestically, but I worked for the NSA, I worked for the Joint Staff, I was embedded with the 101st Airborne and 25th Infantry Division in Afghanistan, and I've done a lot throughout my career that helped me prepare for this. And as a matter of fact, I also brought in something called the Iosphere, which is a magazine that we put out quarterly from the Joint Information Operations Warfare Center, which is a chairman's controlled activity directly under the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. That publication right there indicates the kind of work we did against Russian disinformation, stretching all the way back to at least 2014. That was published in April of 2015. But it shows our contributions, and it also shows something called Potemkin conservatism, which is something that some Polish writers had contributed to that magazine. Jen, you'd be interested in that article. But it shows how the conservatism that we saw before has been morphed into what we see now, and how it's become such a danger. And the roots are here as well as in Russia. So it's an interesting read, and I can share it electronically with anybody if you wish. Anyway, without further ado, so Yoopers Unite. This is our group, basically our mission statement and why we're here. First of all, you can grab a snack or drink at any time during this. The first hour is normally given for us, for the speakers and introductions, announcements, etc. And then we move on to the individual table work that we do. Who we are a nonpartisan, nonprofit network dedicated to fostering connection, communication, and coordination across Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Our mission is to link individuals and organizations, ensuring the timely flow of trustworthy information and facilitating collaborative responses to the current direction of the U.S. government. What we do, Yoopers Unite mobilizes its members for action. Through a rapid and resilient communication network, we activate participation in peaceful demonstrations, legislative contact, and community engagement, amplifying our collective impact. So you'll see we have a lot of different organizations that are represented here. They will be speaking to you, and we offer our forum for them to broadcast a message and to help gain membership, etc. We also have those T-shirts, which of course will be, the T-shirt orders, I guess you can mention right now. I don't know if they're still for sale down there. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And of course you can speak to it later. Welcome new attendees. Please stop by the new attendees table to learn about communication methods and how to become involved and/or volunteer. And of course, there's no pressure. If you're here to just kind of audit us, that's fine too, because we keep nothing secret. We are here for everyone. and everything we do is transparent. So I hope you take that to heart. I'm going to introduce now Jen Hill, the amazing, indomitable Jen Hill.
Yeah. I've known her a long time now. I am up here to do a big round of applause for all of us for the success of the North Plains Rally. I have been thanked, the gratitude, people are so impressed. I just bite my tongue when they're like, your organizations are just great. You guys just rock here. And I'm like, oh, we're a little messy sometimes. But people are so grateful, and I kind of feel like what we've done is a public service, that there's all these people that want to express themselves that are looking for that avenue and that place to do it. And it's kind of they're coming, so we got to find a place and give them a time. But the safety committee, you guys totally rock. I mean, Yahoo! And everybody who distributed posters for me, took the business cards, came and got the banners from me on Saturday morning, took the flags, got them up on the bike path. There was a lot of pieces to that. So, and we'll have a breakout table later to discuss all the things we learned. I don't want to do that right now, but there are some takeaways, of course. Every time we do this, we have takeaways. But I think the site works really well. People seem to mingle, feel safe. We have great visibility. So anyways, that's all I'm here to say is Yahoo.
Do we have an accurate count? I've heard, from two reputable sources, I've heard under 4 and 5.
Well, Babette, who's here,
Yes, I feel like pretty meticulously counted it from the extreme west end of West Walking. And I hit 5,000 after I came to Holiday Inn. Okay, so, mine says 4. What I was looking for is somebody here has the drone pictures. I saw a drone picture.
I have those pictures.
But if you get me those, I can do this grid thing and I can count.
Okay.
I'd like to know, because I think we should have it in our background that we were able to gather this many on some date. Maybe we're going to apply for grants or something.
let me just summarize that for the people at home. So it was asked what if we had an official count. The Mining Journal put us at 4,000. Babette, who's here tonight, who is a person whose eyes light up when someone says someone should count, and Babette goes, I'll do it. So she started counting, walking back from the west side of the rally, and was at 5,000 by the time she got to the Holiday Inn. And then she's offered to analyze the drone pictures to see if we can get a exact head count.
WNMU reported 5,000.
Okay.
Right. Yes, this is what democracy looks like. So fun. And so much energy, and so much support, and so many people. One of my neighbors came down the street. That was the first time he was a federal worker. He long retired federal worker, but he had never taken part in something and was just so moved. And so, again, just we, the power of we. The 18-person security crew that parked 1,000 cars. So that's what I've reported on the statewide forum. There's a statewide Indivisible group, and they were asking for just little stories and anecdotes and details. And I said, we parked 1,000 cars. We counted those too. All right, so I'm gonna, LSRI is on the front. Everybody's got the agenda. And Lake Superior Region Indivisible. Indivisible is a national group that has a statewide chapter, and we have, 93 chapters in Michigan now, I think. And Indivisible works through the ground, on the ground chapters. And, but there were nationwide 250 partner organizations that supported No King's Day. And there is a website, nokings.org, and then if you type in nokings.org/next, there are 8 different tiles of things coming up. And one of those things that's coming up is July 17th, we're now calling Good Trouble Day in honor of John Lewis, who passed on July 17th. And the family has endorsed, so there was a call last night with Indivisible. There were 20,000 people on the call. And they gave us these next steps. How many folks were on that call? I know. Good. Okay, yeah. So several of us were there. A lot of energy on that call. There was a lot of energy, and so July 17th, make good trouble, and particularly. So I'm going to not describe all the things, but there was make good trouble. There was I've personally signed up for a training on June 24th, to learn about mutual aid, which is the idea that we in our local communities will be giving direct help to our other community members. We need to, I see a reason to build that muscle as we do with the food donations, but there may be bigger calls for action as these federal cuts keep coming and the state government cannot pick up and the local governments are not going to be able to pick up what is being proposed in what is now a budget in our US Senate. And so we are going to need to learn how to maybe do some really direct support and service, and I'm eager to do that. And then there's everything in between. There's a whole series of conversations and different things. So ACLU is going to run a series of trainings on rights. If you're concerned about the rights that people, they tried to arrest the financial officer for New York City today at an immigration court. I mean, it's let alone the U.S. Senator in California. And so us being ready for those kinds of actions are things that are coming. And then anything else on Lake Superior Regional Indivisible, Paul or Gail or anyone else wants to share? There's a website, Lake Superior Region Indivisible. There's now a Facebook page for Lake Superior Region Indivisible too, for communications, because there's still a lot of people there. And I will turn it over to Caitlin. Do you want to speak about We the People quickly?
Hi, I'm Caitlin, and I've been I'm kind of filling in for Ruby Miller, who's usually our We the People organizer up here in the UP. Might have seen some of y'all at tabling at Pride this past Saturday. We are working currently on pressuring the MarkTran board to make bus passes more accessible for folks in our community. I'm really focusing on public transportation, and there's a MarkTran board meeting coming up this Thursday that we're hoping to give some public comment at. And also wanting to let y'all know about our UP All Base meeting coming up on next Wednesday. Those are the fourth Wednesday of every month, always on Zoom, to just kind of check in about where we're at on things that We the People is doing up here in the UP, and just kind of check in what other folks are doing as well with projects. So I will maybe during the breakout session, if we have if there's interest, I'll be flagging people down who are interested in public transit and talking about that. And I'll also maybe just be wandering around checking in with people. So thanks. Sorry, I'm rolling in kind of hot here.
What time is the Zoom meeting?
Zoom meeting next Wednesday. So not tomorrow, but the following week, 6 p.m. I have a QR code that I can share with you for anybody who's interested on getting on our email list too. I can give that out so that it goes in the notes as well. If folks would like to sign up with that, and we'll keep you in the loop on what we're doing. And yeah, thank you. Another one.
What about the Martran board meeting, when is that?
Yes, Mark Tran board meeting. Thank you for keeping me on task. So that is this Thursday. It's at the Mark Tran offices are out on Commerce Drive. If you go out there, they're kind of near where like the conservation district offices are too. They're on a little bit past that on the other side of the road of Commerce Drive. And that is at 6. It's kind of a small room, so it would be really cool to have several people there. They're not used to getting public comment. The last time I went, they have 2 public comment periods, and I was the only person there, and was kind of, I was presenting a little bit like I am tonight. Like, hi, I have a lot of energy, and I was not necessarily prepared to talk to you. Hi. It would be great to have people there, whether you are currently a rider, or you have been a rider, or you would like to be a rider, and you're just kind of like, I don't even know where to get the bus. That's part of what we want to work on. Hi. Yeah, our UP all-base meeting. Board meeting? Oh, the board meeting for the Mark Tran board meeting. Yeah, that is 6 p.m. They are always the 3rd Thursday of the month, and they are almost always at the Commerce Drive office, except for once a year. They have one in Ishpeming. That is listed on their website. Thanks.
Good stuff. Is Silas here? No.
No.
Okay, thank you. Silas is part of Tomorrow's Voices in the NME student group, but they are, of course, mostly gone. Although there were NME students on the 18-person security crew. I knew some of them, and that was great to see. So we had good representation of young people, as well as, did folks meet Marie Antoinette? She was there as well. So we had old and young at the rally on Saturday. Ranked choice voting.
Hi guys, I'm Tina Taylor. I am also involved with ranked choice voting. We have had a few people present here. I will be around if you want to talk about it more, but the updates basically are that the letters were sent back in to the Board of Canvassers, encouraging them to give us a timely response to our submission of our verbiage, and we're anticipating that they'll hopefully approve it, and the goal being to start seeking actual signatures to put this initiative on the 2026 ballot starting on the 27th of this month. So if you think you have signed the petition for putting ranked choice voting on the ballot, you have not. You signed a letter of intent or some other thing. So just make sure that you understand if somebody asks you if you'd like to sign the petition, know that you haven't done so yet. That doesn't start until the end of this month. And since I'm here, we'll talk about refreshments. Thank you guys for continuing to support the efforts of community by sharing refreshments. I'm happy to do my part to facilitate that, but it does take a village, so I am looking for 2 volunteers for next week to bring in a refreshment of some kind. It can be sweet or savory or whatever, store-bought, or you can slip me a little bit of money, which, as you can see on the table, is part of what happened for this week. Somebody handed me some money and I went out and spent it on goodies. So there is a Yoda on the back of the table by the hot drinks, and that is collecting donations for Yoopers Unite in general. We use those monies to offer the church some reimbursement for allowing us to be here, and then incidental expenses, the website and variety of things that we've contributed to is what that donation money is allotted for.
Keeping with our young person theme, I just counted 56 votes, including the young person there. We have consistently had at least 50 to at least 80 people at our sustainable meetings. Brad, and 4th of July. Brad, who is not Faith today.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brad Veely, and I'm filling in for Faith Veely, my wife, who's been organizing the July 4th parade. We're looking for people to sign up for, we do have a float, and it has room for 10 signs on each side, so we're looking for people to help us create a sign, a poster. They're about, I think, 14 by 22. I have them here. You can do one tonight if you'd like, or take a poster with you. We are asking people to pick a theme and to commit to it, to doing a poster on a theme. We're looking for something positive, so no F Trump. It's a family, we're promoting the American values that we're standing for, that our government's abandoning. So we want this to be a positive thing. So, but we do want, so we don't have repeats. We won't, and all the posters are unique. We do want, I have a form I'd like you to sign up and then take a poster board. You can do it here. I think we'll probably, that's an empty table we'll set up there. You can do your poster there if you'd like, or take it home with you and bring it to the next meeting. The July 4th planning is going well. You've seen these little slips of paper on the tables. We can have as many as 300 people with us walking behind the float. Faith keeps saying they're marchers, and I keep saying, no, honey, no, soldiers march. We're gonna, we're pro-democracy people who kind of like a funky chicken. We want to put a lot of soul into it, so no marching, okay? But you are preferred customers, so before this link goes out online, you can use your smartphone and sign up tonight and get some free chicken McNuggets or something. I don't know what you need. But anyway, we have to cut the line off at 300 people. We're hoping we get that many people in these shirts walking behind the float, and so that's going well. And also, there are new business cards that you've seen around. Take these business cards because they advertise the 4th of July event, and also Lake Superior Region Indivisible on the other side. Spread them around town. It's a good way to get the word out, and it's got a QR code for getting in touch with LSRI or taking people to that website. So, list here of things I need to go through. Okay. Oh, and the T-shirts. The T-shirts are still available. I called this morning loyalties, and there were 48 shirts left that could be sold. We also have a pay it forward system if you want to buy an extra shirt and donate it to somebody who is behind our cause but can't afford it. Do so, and when you pick up that shirt, just bring it to Joanne. Joanne, why don't you raise your hand? And she's going to take charge of collecting the shirts and getting them to people who would wear them but can't afford them. So that's it. Oh, and there is a flyer. I will put flyers about the T-shirts. There's a QR code and information about the shirts if you don't already have it. They're really easy to order. Yeah, that's it. Any questions?
You just want to notify if we are going to go on the break, how early we might have to be there?
Oh, yeah.
Or is there a site that will tell people what the instructions are for the day's event?
Okay, Jeff had a question about for people who are going to be marching.
There you go.
Sauntering with the float. We all have to be there at I'm glad we have a linear thinker here, and to ask these questions. I think it's 12:15. So, and we have a prime spot in terms of organizing our float and getting ready and getting into the parade. And it'll be right near the corner of Walgreens. So, that's Washington Street and McClellan Street. So just look for a sea of blue T-shirts. And we, and just real quickly, if you do sign up to walk, either through this or through a link that'll go out through the Yoopers Unite or the LSRI website, we will be, the reason for doing this is so that we can cut the number off at 300, but also so we can communicate with you in the lead up to July 4th and let you know things like where to gather, what time, stuff like that. So, yeah.
I tried to purchase a shirt on June 13th. Went down to the store, and the fellow said, if you didn't sign up for it a week or 2 weeks earlier, you're out of luck. You made no extra shirts, which I thought strange, you could have made money. And he said, I couldn't buy a shirt. I wanted to buy 2 of them. I was out of luck, so I don't know what's going on there.
We did, this gentleman had a problem going down to the store and ordering a shirt, and the store had been closed at that time, and it's been reopened, so.
I went into the store.
Mhm. You should be able to order your shirt through them.
You mean the online store is closed, not the physical store?
No, we went to the physical store.
Yeah.
But they said we had to order.
Let's take that offline. And
Yeah,
we can
we'll take that
explain.
offline.
Here we have another one had the same issue.
My sister had the same issue. She tried ordering online, she tried going into the store, and it was like, nobody knew anything about it, no research at all. And they told her she couldn't get one. So, mercifully, we had already ordered one for her.
Okay, so it sounds like people are having trouble with the store and with the online ordering. Why don't you just get with me at this table here tonight in a breakout session, and we'll take care of that. Thanks.
And who's the note taker tonight? Zeke. Thank you, Zeke. That's a huge task. As you can see, there's a lot to keep track of. We can send the link out again. We special order the shirts, so it's a special order, so it does. The store doesn't try to track special orders. We are responsible for that, so that's also part of the disconnect. But we can make sure that these instructions get in the notes that come out with the email after. Yep.
Walking in the parade starts at 2 o'clock. And the old shop, the old parking lot, and JT's shop around there get very crowded. I suggest that you have people come in cars because the parade is long and everybody has to start in the same spot.
Yeah, so she's speaking. I was going to speak to that as well. We have a nice big parade in Marquette, but it does mean we get there an hour and a half to 2 hours before we even start walking. That's to get everyone receptive. I just want to be realistic about, you're thinking 12:15, that is when the organizers ask us to get there. The parade starts moving at 2 o'clock. So it's generally 80 degrees and hot. I once almost gave myself heat stroke in 2018. Had to go into the coolers of the Ordock Brewing to cool down. So, because we go from the corner there, McClellan and Washington, you go up that hill and down to the post office and then turn at 3rd and end at the county courthouse. So it is, I think there is room for people to ride on the float, right? Is it? Are we? Not really. Okay, not really room for people to ride on the float. So we are also asking people to wear the shirts and be in the crowd if you're going to do that. That's also another opportunity to show our spirit and collective. action. But yes, it is, it's a pretty long wait while you're waiting for the parade to get going. And if you're lucky, you're near the bagpipes or near the band, and you get to enjoy that. Last year, I got to follow Elvis. There was an Elvis impersonator who was in a float. That was fun. So it's a good time, but yeah, and then if the weather turns, of course, we also very much need to be in touch with each other. So thank you for putting that up. That was an idea that came up spontaneously in this group, and then we went into a small group, and now we're making it happen. Yes, Zeke.
Sorry I didn't ask this when Brad was up there, but do we have a plan yet about where people can gather to support those walking the parade?
I was just gonna recap on that too, yeah. Like the people that are in Harlow Park or
Yeah.
on the sides, what are we doing? Are we just gonna stand there together? Are we gonna disperse through the crowd? I thought our plan was to be together. Right?
Yeah, that's a small group conversation, so we'll definitely have a small group conversation about the 4th of July arrangements, and then we'll get them in the notes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And next, I don't think, Mike is not here from Delta County. There were 250 people that I see at the Delta County.
Yeah, matter of fact, can I talk to that? Because there's some-
Briefly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that Delta County Unified had a fantastic event with 250 people in attendance. They also, because of the event, despite the rain and everything else that we had trouble with down there, we had some wonderful speakers, and we also had 12 people who were there sign up into Delta County Unified immediately after, with others promising that they were going to attend the next meeting. So a lot of people were heartened by the events that we had elsewhere. And I'm going to go kind of briefly about the Crystal Falls one, because there were 160 people that were there. Almost immediately, there were things online from people who lived in Crystal Falls, who I know, who I'm even related to, believe it or not, who were spreading disinformation about that event, which of course prompted me to post on my social media exactly who these people were, why they were there. They were speculating that people were being bussed in and then bussed to another indivisible event to be counted 2 or 3 or 4 times, because everything seemed to be on a different schedule. I know, I think we should have that as our next one. It's funny how they come up with bad ideas for us, right? So of course, they were saying they were bussed, that these people were not from Crystal Falls. The majority of them were from Crystal Falls, Iron River, Iron Mountain. They saw that the event was happening in Crystal Falls and they decided to join. And hence, we had a huge turnout for Little Crystal Falls of 160 people. And it was very effective, and now we have a lot of motion there too. And because so many people show up at these events, a lot of other people are thinking about joining. And whether it's indivisible, through Paul or anybody, but the outreach is getting out there. And one of the things that was brought up last week, I know I'm going a little bit long here, Jen. I'm trying to cram everything into the thing. When I think it was Carrie who brought up the outreach, that we haven't outreached or reached out to all the areas of the UP yet, and that's true. It requires a lot of time, especially going from Crystal Falls to Ironwood or Crystal Falls to Ontonagon, which I do have a meeting coming up pretty soon, and I have an A-Wave meeting with the Houghton folks coming up on the 25th, or 24th, 26th, or whatever. But the other thing too is, I want to reach out to places like Ironwood, Manistee, Menominee. Those are places that I haven't really reached out to. The Escanaba trip kind of assuaged some of that, and I met some people over there. They even gave me a lot of information that I took back as cards in gross. So when you see the card decks over there, especially with they look like cards, that came from them. And additionally, we're making these contacts as we go to different places. I think Munising would be a wonderful place to go to bring them in. And I've already been to the Sioux and St. Ignace Wood Lake. Yeah, Newberry. That's right on the way. So bringing these people in and letting them know that they're all part of our extended family, this whole network will, of course, get more attention, and not just for the publicity's sake or anything else, but to let them know they're not alone. Because a lot of the feedback I heard was that people felt wonderful knowing that we were out there doing this stuff. And when people know that it's not Marquette-centric, it's UP-centric, then they start to come in even more from the cold. So, thank you.
Yeah. Newberry, Crystal Falls, those libtard homes, yeah, we know. Okay, 3 more things and then we'll break out. I was trying to get us to 30 minutes, but we're going to 45. So speaking of Alger County, I got a late email today that there's going to be a coffee hour with your current House Representative, Carl Bonak. It's been moved to June 20th, Friday, at 11 a.m. at the library in Munising, which is in the bottom of the high school. So if you want to, some people I think went over last time. I haven't heard about one over here, but there is the one coming up on Friday, June 20th, 11 a.m. at the library at the Munising High School. I will just quickly speak. There was a meeting with Planned Parenthood, the statewide organization at Basolda Farm, beautiful Basolda Farm, and on the coldest night of June. And the Planned Parenthood office here has closed. We were raising funds that would be dedicated to people in the Upper Peninsula receiving telehealth or travel services to go to clinics where they could get services. And also, a reproductive health resources clinic is being opened here in Marquette at the Urgent Care Center on Washington that just opened, that's right by McDonald's, used to be a carpet store. And they are going to start offering services on July 1. Yay. And Caitlin has more information on the new clinic that's going to be open on July 1 that is going to be providing all the care that folks need. So very exciting. The community has.
On the table. I only have a few of them that.
Yep, and we have a few left, so maybe take a picture with your phone. And there's information on how to access the care there on West Washington. Okay, turning over the page. UP Rainbow Pride, Donovan.
Okay, let's see how fast I can talk. UP Rainbow Pride. We had Pride Fest last Saturday. It was phenomenal. I saw an awful lot of you come out and join us. Thank you so much for the support. We do not have any idea how many people showed up. We do know absolutely more people showed up this year than any year prior. It was huge. The energy was phenomenal. There were no haters. There was no bullshit. There were smiles that stretched from each end of Lake Superior to the other. I know that we have people that come every year, even from out of state, because they're originally from the area and they want to come support the event. It was overwhelmingly heartwarming. I can count, probably not on both hands, even how many people I know that were there either tabling or volunteering to make it happen. We had 76 at least vendors. We had at least 10 food vendors. We had about a crew of 80 total volunteers, including the UP Rainbow Pride Board. If you know any of the people on that board, please give them a hearty thank you the next time you see them, or if you have their contacts, do it right now. It was phenomenal. I don't know what else really to say. I did have a really nice crew. In fact, I really want to shout out Love Mark here, Chad Mager and Heidi. They actually, you might have indeed seen the notice on their door when you came in tonight. They actually shut down their service on Sunday in hopes of sending people over to help us tear down the Pride Fest grounds on the 15th. That was something I was trying to get together myself, trying to get an interfaith support service to really come and do service and help us take care of an effort that normally takes just the board about 4 to 5 hours every year. We got to knock out of the park in about 2.5 hours. We had a lovely meal in communion afterwards, which was really great, hosted by St. Paul's Episcopal. My heart's out to them as well. Many thanks to them. Marna Franson over there is phenomenal, and many of the crew are just outstanding people. So thank you all for the support. It was outstanding. I did bring my phone. I wanted to shift gears for 2 seconds here. Was that 5? Am I good on 5? Now I have 5 more, because I'm going to start the next thing. This Thursday is Juneteenth, June 19th. So we've already missed out on the first 2 events. Monday, we had a community picnic and potluck, and when I say we, I mean the NMU Juneteenth organization. But let's see, right now is going on Rhythms in Motion of Freedom, a drum workshop down at Ordoc. You can catch the dance workshop for Rhythms of Motion and Freedom going on tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Please show up and show your support for that. Juneteenth proper, the 19th Thursday, celebrating freedom, culture, and creativity will be hosted in the Olson Arena, which is an arena in the Lakeview Arena establishment, as I understand it. That's going on from noon to 4 p.m. on Thursday. So please come out and show solidarity for our people of color in the community. Also Friday evening, they will be doing Legacy and Liberation, a Juneteenth film night in the Mead Auditorium. In the Mead Auditorium from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. So please, once again, show up for marginalized communities. Thank you all.
All right, it was a lot of fun. Okay, one thing that's not on the calendar that's upcoming is there's going to be a UP Community Resource Fair at Lakeview Arena. I was desperately hoping to find it. I believe it's on the 26th. It is, there's a bounce house. Yeah, and I'm really bummed we didn't have those when I was a kid. So, or at least it was really, really special when you got to go to a bounce house. So, so it's kid friendly, and it's all the possible, everybody who does all kinds of service, medical, dental, health, sports, sign-ups, all the things, all in one room at one time. It's a great opportunity to come, and there's food.
Did you say the 22nd?
No, 26.
And
But-
where?
Lakeview Arena. And I will get real information and give it to Zeke when I get it. Okay, before we go to breakouts, I just want to say one thing, which was also part of last night's phone call with Indivisible and all the partners, which is to also recognize, while we had a tremendously joyous occasion on Saturday, we also had a very tragic situation happen on Saturday. And there were actually, a person was shot at the Salt Lake City No Kings event. And so the Indivisible has started a GoFundMe page for the family. Bystander there, and that person was shot and killed. So indivisible.org has a GoFundMe page for the family. And then, of course, what happened in Minnesota. And the people on that list, which included people I know. That we came together in solidarity and strength and care and love. And you'll see the next one was Christians against Christian nationalism. And I know this is being broadcast, and I have heard on the floor of the Michigan House people referring to the idea that our rights came from God, and that we are a Christian nation and nothing else, and that that idea, which we are a country of different ideas and different things, and people are free to express themselves, but it has turned into poison in some places. And to have someone impersonate a police officer, come to their door in the middle of the night, and now all of us who serve in these roles now have to think about that. And we as a nation can do better. And so I know we have a breakout that we're calling Responsible Fight. We're going to think of, we're talking about how to change the name possibly and have a conversation, a very big conversation about firearms and what that means in our country. I appreciate people that want to talk about it. It's a very, there's a lot there. And so that is one of the breakout groups that's been proposed for this evening. I'll just segue into the breakouts. And I'm just really also, I will say, also grateful to the law enforcement who found him. And also, but it was a citizen tip that led to them identifying exactly where and how to get him. So we have a breakout group on the firearms. We have the breakout group on 4th of July. We have the breakout on the debrief of the No Kings. We have the idea of having what's next, all the different things that were said in last night's meeting. If folks want to talk about that, I can lead that conversation maybe at a table over there. And any other tables that folks want to have a conversation. Okay? All right.
Jen, if I could.
Yep.
So on the list, at the bottom, maybe you want to send this.
Okay.
So on the bottom of the list, it says June 19th demonstrations. I thought I should add some context to that. As Jen mentioned last night on that call, they were saying the next major mobilization, or I think the next national mobilization, it can't really be a major mobilization because it's on a Thursday, but July 17th. And it's Good Trouble Lives On in honor of John Lewis. And they were, talking about a lot of the rights of minorities have been diminished during the Trump administration. So, and they also talked last night about all of the new people that attended protests. And so I think in Marquette, I heard people talking about hearing that, like in Jen did, like somebody said, this was my first protest. Well, Saturday I was in Kirkland, Washington with my daughter, and they had a march. And it went for about 2 hours to get everyone from one location to the next location because so many people turned out. Well, frequently people would just turn and go, this is my first protest. And sometimes they would just tell me that. And I would tell them, well, this is my second Kirkland protest, but I'm from Michigan. Because I was there in April 19th also. So then the question became, how do we keep these people engaged? Because we can't just stop and do nothing. Well, we've got 4th of July, but we can't just stop and do nothing until July 17th. We've got Saturdays. So and then I was thinking, like, if we're going to honor John Lewis on July 17th, why wouldn't we do something for Juneteenth? Thursday at the Olson Arena, which is in Lakeview Arena, they go from 12 till 4. So I gave this a little more thought later this afternoon and thought, well, we could pretty easily put something together for the corner of Washington and 3rd at 5 p.m., just like we did on May Day. But it's very short notice. So that's what that breakout table is about. The other thing is pop-up protests, because that's something we've talked about off and on. But that would be, so they do it in Kirkland, and they do it in Traverse City. During the week, groups just appear at different places in the city with smaller protests. In Kirkland, they really like overpasses. So you go down the freeways in Kirkland on the east side of Seattle, on the east side, and then all of a sudden you look up at an overpass and it's covered with people holding signs. And that's something we could do here. So that was the other thing. That's what it means in pop-up protests. And so I'm going to work on that and trying to get something organized in another meeting. But anyway, that's what the Juneteenth demonstrations means. I'm worried about if there were people interested in doing something on Thursday or not. We could sit and talk about what appropriate messages are. I got a bunch of them on my phone, which is over there. But, so I can't read them to you, which is good, because my phone's over there.
I do have a really quick thing.
Yeah, please. Can I go?
Yeah.
That's tough. So the other week, last week, I said I was making immigration cards. I made the ones in English. I'm still working on getting the ones in Spanish. I think I'm going to try a few other languages, Arabic, Chinese, probably some others, but they're over there. Also, I got reminded of this when The person dressing up as an officer was mentioned earlier about the shooting. There have been, this is late news at this point, but there have been reports of folks dressing up as ICE officers and assaulting women. So I would keep an eye out for that and make sure if somebody does approach you, be like, hey, I'm from ICE, make sure they are, please, because we would like to mitigate all that.
It's a double-edged sword, yeah.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, yeah. That's all I got, please.
Thank you, and that's exactly what that mutual aid training that I'm talking about is, how to help with those rights issues. I also want to do, I did find the Marquette County Community Resource Fair is June 26th from 2 to 5 at Lakeview Arena. Also, shout out to the Michigan Nurses Association and the nurse techs. Not on the agenda, but they had that. They are currently in negotiation. Their contract ends. They did a 30-day extension. It's going to end on July 1, and this was a push to make sure that they get the safe staffing levels, which we need to make sure that folks are more willing to come into work when they know when they're going to go home.
Mm-hmm.
Martha had talked to me about getting a breakout group or getting our group together to talk about Saturday, how it went, and what we needed to talk about, what did go well, what didn't go well. I know there's going to be some overlap because some of our people are the 4th of July people. So anybody who could, any of the safety team that could be at Martha's table, we appreciate that. And Jeff, if you could be there because parking was a big deal. Okay, thank you.
All right, let's break up. Thanks, everybody. Oh, Tina, one more thing.
Sorry. Some of you might remember me identifying myself that I am on the Upper Peninsula Health Plans board as a community member. I have been invited to participate on Wednesday in a cultural and linguistic appropriateness committee group. And so if you have cultural or language issues you would like UPHP to address or be aware of, let me know and I will bring that to that committee this week.
Up there because I could tell you about what's going on with voters, not politicians, but I think we need to just move ahead here. I just wanted to announce that Nancy Ushold and her husband have donated $500 and for pocket constitutions to pass out at 4th of July. So we have 1,000 pocket constitutions coming. I also want to tell you that I contacted the Democratic Party. You know, just getting these pocket constitutions has been a little bit of a hassle. Normally these would be free from the state, from your Democratic representative. But I'm sorry, I did not care to ask Carl, okay? Even though the Democrats, just a couple of years ago, through their Democratic representative, gave 500 pocket constitutions to the Republicans. Because that's what we are all about.
That is true.
It's true. The Democrats ran the pocket constitutions to the Republicans to distribute at the fair. Okay? So I also think that we need to have a presence at the UP State Fair and all the fairs, and I think we need to be distributing pocket constitutions. So I think we need to do some fundraising to get these pocket constitutions. It's $500 for 1,000. So anyhow, I'm eternally grateful to the Usholds, and if anybody wants to donate, please do.
Mm-hmm.